Why, hello there. It is Thursday, and I was planning on doing the other propositions from Texas, but I was reading through Twitter and ran across something that I must address, something that I couldn't even believe. That's right, Missouri wants to charge a reporter. They want to charge a reporter because they let the government know that teachers' social security numbers were at risk of being found out. So he let the governor or the government know. They fixed it. He reported a story on it, and now the governor vows revenge. I don't know why, but let's go ahead and find out the story. Assuming that, yeah, there it goes. Just making sure it went. I actually did a reboot, so I gotta make sure everything's working properly. But, anyways, Missouri governor vows criminal prosecution of reporter who found flaw in state website. Let's find out more about it. Let's see if there's an actual crime, according to the Missouri Independent. That's right. On Thursday, a reporter with St. Louis Post-Dispatch alerted the state that the social security numbers of school teachers and administrations were vulnerable to public exposures due to flaws on a website maintained by the Missouri Department of Education. The newspaper agreed to hold off any publishing of any story while the department fixed the problem and protect the private information of teachers around the state. But by Thursday, Governor Mike Parson was labeling the Post Dispatch reporter a hacker and vowing to seek criminal prosecution. The state does not take this matter lightly, Parson said Thursday at a hastily called press conference. He refused to take questions afterward. I wonder why. Parson said that he had referred to the matter to the Cole County prosecutor and asked that the Missouri State Highway Patrol to investigate the administration standing up against any and all perpetrators who attempt to steal personal information and harm Missourians, he said. According to the Post Dispatch, one of its reporters discovered a flaw in the web application allowing the public to search teachers' certifications and credentials. No private information was publicly visible, but the teacher's social security numbers that were contained in the HTML source code of the pages. The state removed the search tool after being notified of the issue by the Post Dispatch. It was unclear how long the social security numbers have been vulnerable. In a press release Wednesday, the Office of Administration Information Technology Services Division said that through a multi step process, a hacker took the records of at least 3 educators, decoded the HTML code source, and viewed the social security number of those specific educators. The state is unaware of any misuse of individual information or even whether the information was accessed inappropriate outside of the isolated incident. Parsons said Thursday that he wasn't sure why the reporter accessed the information. He claimed it was not part of a political game, but was supposed to be one of Missouri's news outlets. The state is committed to bringing justice to anyone who hacks our system or to anyone who aided and abetted them to do so, the governor said, and later arguing that the reporter was an attempt to embarrass the state and sell headlines for news outlets. I mean, it's a kind of a big story. You have an exploit. You have a security issue within your own website. Of course, it's going to be embarrassing to the state. Republican State Rep Tony Lavasco, who according to the legislative biography, has worked in software deployment and maintained a tweet Thursday that it's clear that the governor's office has a fundamental misunderstanding of both web technology and industry standards proceded for reporting security vulnerabilities. Journalists are responsible for sounding the alarm on our data privacy is not criminal hacking. I'm actually kind of glad that it says Republican state. because this is a Republican governor. So I'm glad another Republican is stepping up to the plate and saying, "You need to cool your jets there, Governor." I am glad, because I don't want to be a Republican embarrassment that the Republicans don't know anything about technology. But I think this is pretty much right here, says it all. Journalists responsible for sounding alarm on data privacy is not a criminal hacking. Chris Vickery, a California-based security expert, told The Independent that it appears that the Department of Education was publishing data that it shouldn't have not been publishing. This is not a crime for journalists to discover it. He says putting social security numbers within the HTML, even if it's non-display rendering, HTML is a stupid thing for a Missouri website to do, and it's a type of a bonehead mistake that's been around since the day one of the internet. No exploit, hacking, or vulnerability involved here. And explained that he hopes that the reporter and news organizations will be prosecuted, Parson pointed out to the state statute defining the crime of tampering with computer data. Vickery said that the statute wouldn't work in this instance because the recent decision by the Supreme Court in the case of Van Bernen versus the United States, the court ruled in the case that someone violated the law when they access files or other information that is off limits to them. In Missouri, Vickery said that the state was publishing the HTML source to the public internet with no hurdles, a password, or other requisite form of authentication challenge means that the public can reasonably assume to be authorized to view the contents of or the content for the purpose of laws related to the computer trespass forms of offense. The Post-Dispatch published of the statement in response from attorney saying that the reporter did the responsible thing by reporting his findings to the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education so that the state could act to prevent, disclose, and misuse. A hacker is someone who subverts computer security with the malice or criminal intent. The statement continued, here there was no breach of any firewall or security, or certainly no malice intent for the DESE to deflect its failures by referring to this hacking as unfounded. Thankfully, these failures were discovered. House Minority Leader Crystal Quald, Democrat Springfield, said that the Post-Dispatch deserves praise for discovering the problem, not threats. The governor should direct his anger towards the failure of the state government to keep its technology secured and up to date and work to fix the problem, she said, not threatening journalists with prosecution for uncovering failures. I 100% agree with this. Normally, I do not take the side of the media, but this media actually did a reasonable job making sure that no security breach could have happened, informed that there was an issue with the website, so they were able to correct it before actually displaying the story. My only issue is that it should be a cracker, not a hacker, but that's more of nitpicking. I think people conflate the two, but they're so intertwined. That's not part of culture to call a hacker a cracker. And a cracker is someone that actually cracks the security and go behind firewalls. Yada, 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 yada. But that's just nitpicking at this point. And I think this governor really needs a lesson of information technology security and to let them know that this journalist or reporter did not break any laws or committed any criminal offenses because it was within the HTML code that's available to be, or the source that's able to be viewed in most web browsers. That's right, most web browsers. Here, let me go back. I think even this one allows you to see the sources. I forget how to do it in Firefox, but you can actually see the source of this page. which is available on any page, whether it's Fox, CNN, any gov or any .gov pages. You can actually see the HTML and how it's being presented to the web browser. It's actually pretty cool, and you can even make small edits to make it look more legit. But that's more lines of screenshotting, and I'm not really interested in that. But I'm just saying there's ways to manipulate it. But this reporter didn't manipulate it, and he should not be threatened with charges, nor should the newspaper be threatened with charges for presenting an issue with their webpage. Anyways, leave a comment down below if you agree with me that the reporter should not be charged and should be praised for doing the responsible thing by waiting for them to fix the issue before publishing the story, or do you agree with the governor and all reporters are bastards and should be prosecuted just on good measure? Anyways, leave a comment down below on what your thoughts are. Smash the like and subscribe button in all platforms or the platform that you're viewing on. But most importantly, have yourself a wonderful day, morning, or evening.